I'm Beth Ann.
And this is Let's Talk BL, a boys love podcast.
Welcome back to the podcast. It's Sunday, Series Sunday, the day of the week where we talk all about one series and one series only, chock full of spoilers. So if you've not watched Naughty Babe, you should actually go do it.
Honestly, this is going to be full of spoilers. And this show is so full of like twists and turns and like
all the
so
things.
much happens that I genuinely wouldn't want this to be spoiled for anyone. Like
No.
Sometimes we say like, oh, this can be spoiled and you'll still have a good time like going back and watching this, whatever. No. Don't spoil this one for yourself. Honestly, just go watch it.
And we had a journey with this because I watched the first episode, I think, before you. And
we watched it together. We watched the first episode together, and we both were like, what's happening? And then I dropped off very quickly. I was like, like I watched the first episode, and I was like, I'll catch back up with it. But you kept watching.
Yes, because it was like a car crash that I couldn't stop watching because the first episode was insane. This is the good example of a show that you need to keep watching.
Yes.
Like you need to give it like 3 episodes.
But we'll get into all of that after all of the details.
Yes, nuts and bolts. And it is a quick watch because it's only 8 episodes. It's on iQIYI, done by good old Dumundi. Piaf and Kla co-directed this, which was interesting. It stars as Kondiao Nat, and it's Hye-yi
Yeah.
Max.
Yes.
Good old Max Nat.
Okay. Synopsis. Oh my God, this is long. Okay.
This is from iQIYI. I love they give you the full Thai name.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Okay. Tacha Wangtirawi is engaged to Payak Chateka Chen because of a mutually beneficial business agreement. The sweet love of Hye-yi and Kondiao is like the ending of a romance novel. As if. Tacha is left alone on the engagement day. He's left alone when he moves into Hye-yi's place. As the wedding ceremony is around the corner, he has to deal with everything alone. His name is Kondiao, but it doesn't mean he wants to be alone. As the distress is no longer bearable, Tacha decides to flee from the future wedding to Switzerland, not suspecting Hye-yi will try to catch up with him and get into a car accident. What's more, Hye-yi loses his memory when he wakes up and accuses Tacha of being the one despising the idea of getting married. What's with him, huh?
Fascinating.
All of the emphasis, I was going off of the punctuation here. That wasn't me.
The
wasn't
question mark.
Question mark? Shout out to anybody that was at that Xenu fan meet in LA.
Oh, what a journey.
What a journey. Okay,
literally,
so
first journey.
Such a journey.
Last journey.
So, as we were saying, this is definitely one that you need to keep watching because it honestly gets so good. I'll be honest, like I said, I dropped off after the first episode. I watched the first episode and I was like, oh no, which was annoying to me because I actually enjoyed Hye-yi and Kondiao in Cutie Pie.
Which makes no sense.
Here's the thing. They did exactly what the characters called of them. Like, they were a side couple. They weren't supposed to have that much development because they were going to have their own show.
Right.
Because they were going to have their own show the whole time. Literally, like, all of it was for us to just get kind of like a feel for their personalities so that when Naughty Babe came around, we would know what was going on. So, like, they did exactly what they were supposed to do in Cutie Pie. I also thought that, like, the fact that a lot of people did not like their characters meant that they were doing the acting well. Like, they were acting the way they were supposed to act for the characters, right? Like, it wasn't their fault that that's how the characters were written in Cutie Pie. They were doing exactly what was asked of them. So, I was actually really pulling for this series. I was like, I think this is going to be good. I think that their dynamic is interesting. I think that this is absolutely, like, psychotic. And every now and then I love an unhinged show.
Yes.
So, like, it was annoying to me when I watched that first episode and I was like, oh, no. And then I dropped off. And then I started watching again.
Yeah.
And then by the time I was at, like, probably, like, episode, like, 4 or 5. I think it took me until, like, 4 or 5 that I was like, oh, this is getting good. Like, grab your popcorn, kids. Like, I am seated kind of situation.
Yeah, and we talked about this, too. This show is very much episode by episode. Like, each episode feels like a complete story almost. Like, they all go together. But you can kind of watch each episode as its own thing.
If you know the setup. So, first of all, The setup is psychotic. This is also, I feel like, a really fun
Truly
one to
is.
watch with friends and like to talk about with friends because there's so many twists and turns. It's like a telenovela.
It really is.
And I love a good telenovela.
Especially after the first episode, you're like, a tiger?
Yeah.
I think Cutie Pie did this show an injustice, did these characters in the storyline an injustice because there was no continuity. You had the idea of like this dog from Cutie Pie, and then you have a tiger. It turns out to be a tiger that like takes out a dude in the second one, or in Naughty Babe. And yes, they developed these characters, but I hated these characters in Cutie Pie, and I didn't care about their storyline. So the fact that they were doing another series made like I wasn't interested.
Oh, see, I had the opposite reaction. Like, I didn't hate the characters in Cutie Pie. I was like, I definitely always thought that Condiao had like a very fun friend relationship, and you definitely like he got established as exactly who he was, right? This kind of like this kid who like doesn't want to be alone, but like he cares a lot about his friends, and he's very like fun friend, like P-Nong kind of vibe. And then you have, which again is like perfect for his personality, Hye Yi and Hye Lian, right? Like you see like their relationship in Cutie Pie. Like Cutie Pie did not make me hate these characters, and I know in some cases that's an unpopular opinion, but like yeah, I had the opposite reaction where I was watching it and I was like, I need to see more of this development because, like, it is wild to me.
I liked these characters in relation to Lian and Kia because I loved for the first half of this series, they really leaned into Hye Yi and Hye Lian's relationship.
Right, because we didn't see a lot of that. And again, this is actually the genius of Cutie Pie and Naughty Babe and how they play into each other, is that if you think about it, in Cutie Pie, we got a lot of Kia and Condiao.
Yes.
And their development, and you didn't get like any development of Yi and Lian. And so like if you it makes sense that in Naughty Babe it's a little bit more focused on Yi. Like I actually would say it's very focused on Yi, even though it's like about Condiao. Like a lot of the focus is on Yi and like his actions and like his cute little like temper tantrums that he throws and things like this. And so like developing his relationship with Lian in Naughty Babe made more sense than developing it in Cutie Pie. So, like, actually, like, these two shows, I think, flow really well together, and I thought that they did a good job of, like, honestly, I feel like this is very similar to, like, Turn Type 2, Don't Say No. Like, that kind of flow.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I can definitely see that. I also really like when you get a show with a side couple who's already established. That, like, you're just kind of seeing them live their life in relation to the main characters, but you don't have to also focus on another development of another storyline.
Love.
It's true. And so, yeah, I really liked the Hye Yi and Lian relationship. I liked the development of Yi and Condiao's relationship through this series because you get a little more of like why their dynamic is the way that it is, and it's the most ridiculous reason.
Right.
It's
but like
the best,
that's the point.
Most ridiculous reason. And yeah, I guess that's the thing is that like once you realize like, oh, he's literally made to take care of this child because a tiger attacked a bodyguard in front of him.
Also, okay, I was thinking about the whole, like, while I was, like, setting up for, like, putting up all the lights and stuff, whatever, for this episode, I was thinking about the whole, like, dog to tiger thing, and I was like, why? Because that was the only thing that I was, like, questioning. I was like, I don't understand why we've, like, transfigured the dog into a tiger. And then I realized, like, oh, it actually kind of makes sense because, like, the whole point is that Diao has, like, PTSD and memory loss around this incident. And so, like, all he remembers is, like, an animal attacking. And, like, dogs are so common. And so, like, because in Cutie Pie, it's established he's so scared of dogs. He's scared of dogs because, like, a dog attacked him. Right? And he thinks it's, like, an attack. And, like, all of it actually makes sense that we find out it was actually a tiger and all of this stuff because, like, he's an unreliable narrator. Like, of course he thinks it's, like, he just knows he's scared of, like, animals that lunge. But right? And so, like...
But in Cutie Pie, I'm pretty sure it's Yi who thinks
No, he doesn't think, he just
Condio.
says it.
Because then when he
He
introduces...
doesn't say anything. He's just like, oh, he's scared of dogs. Right, because he knows the true incident, but he's not going to tell. He's not going to say anything about it.
Right, because then when Nong is introduced, he's like, I thought you were afraid of dogs. And he was like, why? Like, Condio doesn't think he's afraid of dogs.
No, yeah, he does, because when the, like, golden retriever and Cutie Pie, like, runs into the taekwondo studio, and he, like...
Maybe it was the size?
Yeah, because, again, it was a tiger, right? Like, it was, like...
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I'm like, this actually does make sense.
When they introduce Nong, yeah, he's like, I'm cool with this tiny little dog.
Yeah, but it, like, yeah, in the taekwondo studio in Cutie Pie, the, like, golden retriever runs it. It's, like, a whole thing. I was like, oh, yeah, like, it's a... like, unreliable narrator, like, he knows he has this trauma, but he's not really sure why, and, like...
I do love that
like a whole thing.
He has, like, vivid dreams about this incident, and he's like, there's a tiger. And then when he tells Yi about it, and his reaction is like, he's gonna figure it out.
Right, he's gonna know.
There's so many, like, layers of storylines in this show. And there are quite a few, like, time jumps within that first episode because we had to get to a year where the, like, gay marriage is legal.
Right.
And so I thought they did that really well, though, because they do time jump a lot because they have to move you from Cutie Pie to Naughty Babe and, like, where we are in kind of everyone's storyline. And so they go, like, kind of back and forth. And then we end up in 2025, which is kind of where it continues on.
The final time jump was a bit much for me, I'll be honest. When we jumped to 2029, I was like, okay.
We have children.
But I will say, in general, I think that the mood shifts and the tone shifts in Naughty Babe were done really well. Like, it didn't feel like whiplash. And in a lot of cases, when they do a tone shift, like going from, like, dramatic to goofy like they do, like, especially in the transition from, like, Ep 7 to Ep 8.
Yeah.
And so, like...
yeah, Ep 7 was a lot of, like, explanations.
Well, and a lot of, like, very intense, like, Tam and Tem aren't step siblings. They're half siblings because Diao's mom has been messing around on his dad. It's like a whole thing.
With his brother.
And then they try to escape. It's like a whole thing. It's very convoluted. It's very a la Until We Meet Again, family ties, like mafia. Yeah.
And it was the brother who messed with the car? Tem messed with the car.
Yes.
Okay. I was trying to figure out where we were going.
Yes.
Because he was kind of jealous, but also being kind of pushed by uncle / baby daddy.
Yes.
To like get more money.
His daddy uncle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
His daddy uncle.
His daddy uncle.
Is this the first show that we've ever seen the couple have children?
I mean, no. Yes, kind of. Like, in Vice Versa, we had this whole, like, you know.
Well, no, that wasn't their kid.
But it wasn't their kid, right? But they were, like, raising a child.
Neo kidnapped a child to, like,
they were, like,
bring them back together.
So in Vice Versa, Our Sky, there was, like, a child present.
Because in Tarn Type, they get married. Do they have kids? They don't have kids. Because I was like,
another one where there's kids, though.
Yeah, who has
Well,
children?
are you talking about Just High? Because then, of course, you have Daddy and Papa. Is that what it's called?
No, I'm just talking about Ty.
You're just talking about Ty.
Yeah.
Well, so there was that. Oh my God, what's it called? Not Wednesday Club. Wednesday Club is the name popping to my head, but Bank and Nah. And
oh yeah, Club Friday.
Yes, thank you.
They had a child.
The
woman had
it.
Yeah,
the woman has a child, and the whole reason is like she wants to have a kid. It's like a whole thing.
I mean,
so there's like a kid present
in Love by Chance 2. Mean's character has a kid, and then he ends up with he ends up with Est. So they have a kid,
and then
a step kid.
Obviously.
But I'm thinking about like an actual couple who have children. This is the first time.
Small children.
Yeah.
I think so. Because obviously, like in Only Friends, Mew is the child of a couple.
yes.
I ship his moms, okay?
That was very well done. I love it.
Anyways, yeah. So they have kids for like a hot minute, for like a second.
Also, speaking of Est, shout out Est. We get him as bodyguard on, and it's so funny because he is the child of the man who gets actually mauled by the tiger.
Yes.
And it's like he's now working for the family, and they're taking care of him, but also making him work for them.
Right.
And like he's
like
also
indentured servitude.
yeah, he's like also having to work for the dad and Hye-yi, and he's trying to like manage all of it.
My
But
guy has 2 jobs.
he's the one that lost his dad. Why isn't he
his
being?
dad's not dead.
I think he eventually dies because he's like the death of my dad. Like you
Oh,
guys are the
right,
reason
right,
in
right.
Ep 7.
Yeah.
So like
But you see him healed from the attack.
I know.
So like I don't think I think it was maybe like a translation
late in
issue.
life.
Or like a translation issue. Like maybe not the death, like his dad didn't die, his dad just like went through something.
No, I think his dad eventually dies probably from complications.
But no, because he's like healed. Like you see my dude like walking around like healed.
But potentially like he does eventually die from other things. Not
So of like natural causes.
Yeah.
Sure.
But yeah, that was like a weird. Like he should be the one that's engaged to Hye-yi.
Actually,
Right?
I mean,
Season 2.
I ship it. Actually, honestly, I ship anyone with Max. Like,
It's
truly,
true.
I ship myself with Max. I ship
Honestly,
Max with everyone.
Max and Z, this whole Leon
Yeah,
and
Leon
Yi,
and Yi,
I truly
yeah.
will never get over it. They killed it. I was living for every moment. That's what got me through the first like 3 episodes, and then when you hit episode 4, you're like, yes, I am enjoying this. This is ridiculous. There's so many twists and turns. We're suddenly planning to crash a wedding, and then suddenly
his own wedding.
we're
He's crashing his own wedding.
yeah, and
by
then
the way.
suddenly we're like making up some kind of heist situation. There's like all these like people are trying to kidnap people.
I did really appreciate that Leon was helping Diao run away. He was
Yes.
like, why would I help you to you? And he's like, are you for real, bro? Like, I just thought that was really funny.
Yeah.
There were many daddies to appreciate.
So many daddies.
So many daddies to appreciate in this
Good
series.
and bad.
So let's start with the father figure daddy.
Yes.
Cheekbone daddy, as I call him.
Daddy Chen.
Daddy Chen.
Max's
Papa Chen. Yes.
Papa Yi.
Yi's
Yes,
dad.
yes,
Yi's
yes, yes.
dad.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm obsessed with his cheekbones. Like, my guy's on and popping.
I'm obsessed with his relationship with Con Diao. Like this I told you this when we were watching it. This is the mark of a good dad. The dad is in love with the son-in-law more than his own child.
But not like a weirdo. He's not like
No.
in love
He
with
loves
the son-in-law.
he loves the son-in-law
not
more.
in love with his
He
son-in-law.
loves the
What
the
is the, like,
boyfriend.
mommy fan?
Yeah. He loves the boyfriend more than his own son, and I feel like that's the dynamic that really is cute and works well.
But he's also such a good dad. He has
is.
a really, like, fun relationship with Yi. I think
does, yeah.
one of my favorite scenes. So, like, yes, he's super hard on Yi just at all times. One of my favorite scenes is in, I think it's 7, where baby Yi is crying and he's like,
Yeah,
he's basically
7,
like poised
yeah.
to cry.
Stream Atlas.
Stream Atlas. And he's like, you can cry. I'll be here for you. And baby Yi starts crying and he just sort of like stands there watching him.
I know.
And he's like, don't worry, you're not alone. Like, I'm not gonna let you cry alone, but I'll be like,
But I'm
with
not going to
you.
comfort you.
Right. I did appreciate that. I did think that was funny. I also like think it's funny how he challenges Yi a lot, but then he's like, he has his back. He always has his back, and he challenges him a lot, but he has his back, and he always trusts him. And then he like teases him a little bit. Like, he's like mischievous.
Yeah.
I love Daddy Cheekbone. Daddy Cheekbone is my favorite.
Yeah, their little dinner in Ep 8 after they're married, and he's like, do you want a new husband? Do you want a celebrity? Like, that whole dynamic was so funny. Oh,
Ooh,
they're so
speaking of
cute.
his family, before we talk about Taekwondo Daddy,
Huh.
before we talk about Boss, let's talk about family. Let's
Yeah.
stay with Yi's family. I had no idea that was Max's actual mom,
I know, isn't that fun?
and that's so fun and fresh and cute.
Pudding.
Pudding, shout out my girl Pudding. She killed it too.
She did.
She is a professional Noxidant.
She really was natural. That was fantastic.
I mean, I too probably would treat Nat as my child.
Yes.
So like in that moment when she's like must protect, like I get you, girl. Cow dry.
I feel like this new generation of GMMTV boys, you see it a lot. Well, and also with a lot of other actors, Dumundie too, where the like quote unquote in-laws like take in the like CP and very much are like, you are making my family money. I love you. Okay, we also have Kondiao's dad, Daddy Sutta.
Sutta.
This
Sutta.
man, honestly, like I think he tried.
I did love the sick burn Kondiao laid down on him at the wedding when he was like, listen, thanks for being here. I no longer want to be a part of your family.
He was like, thanks for making me.
Yeah, he literally was like, thanks for giving me life, but bye.
I know.
And then he was like, I'll have them like buy the land for like a reasonable price. Like I'll let them sell it to you for like a reasonable price.
That was fantastic.
But that's all I'm gonna do for you, and that's all I'll ever do for you. And
oh God, that
you
was
can
so funny.
go shave your back now. It's like basically what he said. Like he was like a sick bird. Like at this wedding
fantastic.
in front of everyone. Like this man is like sitting on the stage, and Kondiao is just like
meanwhile
like, greeting him.
His own brother had an affair with his actual wife and birthed 2 children,
and then
like
the children and the mom and the uncle like ran off. I did think that was a funny line where like it was Est who was like they escaped through natural routes. And I was like, as opposed to supernatural routes, like they didn't use like flu powder. Like I don't understand. Like that was just like a funny translation moment.
That's incredible. Yeah, his poor dad. I actually feel a little bad for his dad. Like I think because he had his brother in his ear being like, oh, this family wants to take responsibility for Kondiao. Like, let's take him for all they're worth. And the dad is like, I do want money, but also my child.
He's
and
gonna have, like a good life. Like, yeah, I think he was just like foolish. And also, I did think it would have been way funnier. So at the end, the dad, like at the wedding, his dad is like, I love you. And I did think it would have been funny if Diao, after having like this sick burn on his dad in public, was just like, Lakna, choop choop. Like I did think that would have been funny, but instead he like started crying. Yeah. Shout out to Nat, who is clearly dehydrated because my dude just cried for 8 episodes straight.
I know. He had to be so emotional this entire time.
He gave Baz and 2 Moons a run for his damn money.
I think the only person who's cried more is Fluke and Until We Meet Again.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder what BL actor has had to cry the most.
Oh, yeah. Who cries in all their series?
Who else?
Baz. Because Baz cries for the entirety of Gen Y as well. And Gen Y, too.
He really
does.
Baz
literally never stops crying in that show.
There was another show recently where they had to cry a lot. I mean, Cow Tongue and First literally cry always, forever.
Yeah, Cow Tongue's been crying a lot in Only Friends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like there was somebody else that I was
Who
like,
else
dang.
cries a lot? If you can think of a show where they just like cry the whole time.
Top 5 criers in BL.
Top 5 criers in BL.
That should be a whole episode.
Or just okay, well, because that's like that can mean a lot of things. You mean most beautiful criers because number 1 is always Fluke.
I think who cries the
or do you
most?
mean who cries the most? Like most common crier.
Right.
But like in a series.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, daddy number 3.
Ah, yes, Taekwondo Daddy.
Good old boss.
Boss.
This sweet man, he has done quite a lot of BLs.
Yeah.
He's led BLs. He's been side characters.
Well, it was funny because we were watching this and you were like, I want Boss to lead a BL. And I was like, he's literally led like 45 BLs.
And I totally forgot about What's That Man because Bankbo.
So, yeah, What's That Man and then
Hidden Love.
And then the other one with the house.
Excuse me?
I guess he wasn't the lead, but he was like the second lead. The Promise. There we go.
He was a love rival.
Yeah.
And not a love rival, but like a bad dude and not me.
Right.
But yeah, I did love him as the love rival in this. I was like, get you another child because literally.
Right. He has a kid. So his child is the student of Diao.
That when you get first introduced to them because Yi is delivering a luxury car to Daddy Boss. That whole scene was so funny because he was like, do you want to come live with me? Right in front of his like fiance. He was like, I will take care of you in a totally normal way.
Yeah, this
like,
isn't weird.
He was like, my child really misses you and wants you to live with us. And you're like, what is this dynamic? I don't quite understand.
That's the kind of support I need. I need a rich daddy to be like, hey, come live with me. Like, I'll take care of you. No strings attached. It's not weird. Like, that's the exact dynamic I want.
You know what I do appreciate about that storyline is that Kondiao very much was the one that was what drew the line, and Daddy, I just put him down as Taekwondo Daddy.
Taekwondo Daddy. Yeah.
Very much respected him. He tried. He really tried. But then finally he was like, let me take you home. And he was like, no, sir. I will ride my bicycle.
Oh, yeah. Okay, my favorite thing about
why does he ride a bicycle?
Diao and the bicycle. Well, I think it was like a form of protest because of the Chen family, you know what I mean, with the cars. I think it was like his own like little form of protest.
He didn't ride a motorcycle in Cutie Pie.
No.
Just Kia. Okay.
Okay. No. My favorite thing about Diao and the bicycle is he doesn't really ride the bicycle so good.
He doesn't.
Like, he's not a great bike rider.
I did love that he tripped over the bicycle when he like had that emotional moment with his dad.
And then also
fantastic.
whenever the people are coming to beat him up before Taekwondo Daddy saves him, and he's trying to turn the bike around, he can't turn it around, so he has to like get off the bike and physically turn the It's just so funny. Like, I like that we committed to the bicycle before we even asked Nat, like, hey, do you know how to ride a bike? Like, I wonder if that was the situation, if nobody bothered to ask Nat, like, do you know how to ride a bike? And then he showed up to set and they were like, okay, ride the bike. And he was like, what?
Also, I felt like he was riding on the same back roads every time we see him on the bike. And so I wonder if they just shot that 5 different times. They're like, okay, we're going to have...
Change clothes.
We're gonna have Daddy Taekwondo Daddy follow you first, and then we're gonna have these bad guys follow you and jump you, and we're gonna do all these things and just ride the bike in circles.
They like rented the bike for one day.
Do you know what was really funny? Is if at the end they had a bicycle for 2. And it's like leaving the wedding. It's like,
where is there is a bicycle for 2 in a BL.
Hidden
vice versa?
No. I think in, oh my god.
Oh, which one is it? There is one where they ride a bicycle. It's hidden. It's Hidden Agenda. It's when like they go off.
I knew it's Jungdong.
He's like teaching. He's like, show me how you would ask her out on a date. Like,
yeah.
It's like that situation.
Okay, I was like, I'm pretty sure it's
when
Jungdong.
he tells him his rules.
Yes.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that have been
Don't
really
they
cute
have a
and funny?
bicycle for 2 in Gen Y2? Life Goes On, Love Goes On.
I don't
or
remember.
no, I'm just making that up because it fits. I might just be making that up because it sort of like fits with the vibe.
I don't remember. There are a lot of bicycles in BLs. Now that I think about it,
there is a very cute bicycle moment in The Moment I Need You, or The Moment Again I Need You.
The Moment
Sense. Yeah, that was like the second one.
Yeah. Yeah, the bicycle thing was really funny.
Sweet Nat.
I mean, this show also gave us the return of Zinunu as Helian and...
Yes. Listen,
yeah.
We just got back from the Zinunu fan meeting in LA. First journey in LA.
Zanzan for life.
Love is love. Question mark?
Question mark?
All of those inside jokes. I appreciate that now everybody in LA has 2 inside jokes with Zinunu.
I know.
That makes me happy. I have so much more of an appreciation for Z and Nunu now that I have seen them like with my own eyes perform because honestly, like,
also they were there literally for the weekend.
Yeah, and they were jet lagged when we did. So we had the high touch and photo op, and they like combined them into one. It was like a strange situation. I like went to do my like high touch, and I just like, sweet Z, like you've never seen a more tired man, but he was trying so hard. Like he
really
was
did.
Like powering through, and he has the softest little voice,
and he's so funny.
He's very funny,
very sarcastic.
Yeah, like I feel like even with like I've watched their concerts and I've watched you know stuff like that before. I didn't really get like
no
a
clue.
Feel. Yeah, I didn't have a good feel for Z's personality, and so like what I said when we got back is I was like, I went into this having a lot of respect for Z. Like I really respect Z as an actor, and I kind of always have. So I went into it with a respect for Z, but I left it really, really liking Z.
Yeah.
And of course, Nunu was the angel that we all know. That
Yeah,
he
yeah.
is. Like, there,
Nunu,
like that. It was
Nunu's
not
always
surprising to me
perfect.
that
Yeah.
Nunu was like a sparkling, ethereal angel. Like, because of course he was.
Truly sparkling.
Yeah.
Okay, the other thing that this show gave us was Tudor Yim again. Nia and Sin. Good freaking God. Every time Nia comes on that screen, I'm like, damn, he's beautiful.
He is beautiful.
I mean, Yim is beautiful too, but like, damn.
Yeah.
Tudor. I'm so excited for Middleman.
I really love Yim, though. Yim
never
is one of
been-
my favorite boys. He's such a little weirdo.
He's so
I really
funny.
dig
He
him.
has great comedic timing.
Yeah.
He's very slapstick, but he does it so well. That in Ep 8, when they're like having to lie to that bodyguard and he's like going through it about it, and he like throws himself to the ground and he's like, I can't do this.
Well, and then
God,
whenever
it's so cute.
he's like talking to the cab driver, and the cab driver's like, will you make merit with me? And it's like for a donation thing. It's like so funny the way he's like, no, but like,
You know what's funny is I get that cab driver, because the whole thing is like, if you make merit together, you spend your afterlife together.
you see each other again.
Yes.
In the next life.
I also want to go to Thailand and just be like,
I want to
let's
see
make
Yim
merit.
in every life.
Yes.
Thank
Let's
you.
go make merit together.
Yeah, I really like Yim. He's such a little weirdo, and I'm really excited for Middleman's Love.
So excited.
I'm so excited.
We got the return of Nong, bulge-eyed dog.
Who got a rename at the end, Natasha Romanong, which
Yes.
I appreciated.
Bok Bok.
Bok Bok.
Chen.
I just liked the Natasha Romanong. Like,
Yeah.
I thought that was clever. I was like,
That was fantastic. We've had this conversation before. We had it with Boy in our interview where we talk about animal sounds. And it's so interesting. When I first got into Korean stuff and I realized that animals make different sounds in different countries, that like blew my mind. It didn't even occur to me. And so the fact that in Thailand, dogs don't woof woof, the translation said woof woof, but they bok bok.
well, because bark, 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 right? Bok, bok, bok.
It's so funny.
Because the R, the way you pronounce it, if you like spell
Yeah.
out bark.
But we don't say bark, bark, bark. We say woof woof.
No, I've seen it that way. I've seen like in little like children's books or whatever, it's like bark, bark, like B-A-R-K, B-A-R-K.
Oh, I haven't.
And we have like bark box. We have like
But
bark,
like
bark.
as a sound, you don't say bark, 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 bark. You say woof, woof, woof. Or
I
arf,
mean, I'm
arf,
not
arf.
typically like
Ruff, ruff.
mimicking a dog.
Ruff, ruff. What's your go-to barking?
I don't bark often, so I don't think that I have a go-to bark.
But yeah, this show is so interesting. Episode 1 was a mess. I will give it that.
It was.
But the rest of the
yeah.
show, I really enjoyed. I thought it had some really funny moments. I thought it had some really sweet moments. It's only 8 episodes, so I'd watch it again.
I really like the show. I absolutely would watch it again.
We would be remiss if we didn't talk about a little bit about the NC scenes.
Would we be remiss though? Would we?
These
I really thought we were gonna get away with it. We got so far in this series Sunday without having to talk about nipples.
These boys committed.
We got so far in this series Sunday without talking about nipples, but then
There was less tongue,
it's true. It's true. That's
but
true.
a lot of nipples and a weird thumb suck at the end.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about it. I really don't want to talk about it.
Didn't we talk
There's
about
also a weird ear situation that happened at the end? There was just a lot of us just like
Nat does some things with his tongue, but like not in Max's mouth. Who was there's some actor that I was like, dang, they have a long tongue. Who was that?
don't know.
I don't either. I need to remember. Anyways, I mean, these boys committed. That was probably my favorite part of the conversation. Go watch our JoJo and Ninu interview, because they talk about the idea that like, was GMMTV going to allow them to do that show?
Oh, right.
And then when they did, they were like, we have to find the right actors. And they were basically like, these boys committed. Like, that's what you need from these boys, is to commit. And Max and Nat really committed.
They did.
They committed to the nips. Yes. I love that we're now having to issue statements to be like, please do not put these scenes online for the sake of the integrity of the actors, but like all this is gonna be online.
Right, yeah.
Like that's literally how people get views. If you go compare IG accounts, the people who post mainly spicy scenes have like thousands of viewers, whereas
not
like,
just thousands, like 100,000.
Yeah.
Like tens of thousands.
the boys kissing gets the views.
Yeah.
Makes sense.
That's what people tap.
They tap that.
I really thought we were not gonna have to talk about
It's
the
Dumundi. We
nipples.
couldn't not. I can't wait to see Middleman, honestly.
Do we
I'm
think
so excited.
so? Like, I will say, Dumundi does have an NC style. If you think about it,
they really do.
like their NC scenes are very.
I mean, I will
specific. Like there, it's like it looks like a Dumundi spicy scene every time. Like,
Yeah.
why are you Cutie Pie, Naughty Babe? Like, it's kind of
really does.
like shot the same. I don't know how to explain it, but they have a very distinct NC style.
It's funny. I feel like it is shot artistically, but with a very heavy porn
but
tilt.
like intense, yeah. Like it's really graphic, but it's like artsy.
But-
It's like artsy and graphic.
And we're getting closer to like actual like, because if you think about it, we only got like foreplay in Bed Friends. Like there was no actual sex. Like we're getting more and more like sex and thrusting in shows. Whereas like for the longest time, we only got like the foreplay leading up to the thing. And then because in
Well, you
Naughty
get-
Babe, we got it a teeny tiny bit in Ep8.
you get it in Why Are You? Right?
No.
Yeah.
No. They
No?
fade away as soon as they like are at the precipice.
And don't you get it in Bed Friend on the yacht? In the hot tub?
You don't get thrusting. You get
Well, but like it's not just like they're engaging.
there's like rubbing and like kissing, and he's like they're back to front.
But
like,
I don't need thrusting. Like, why do you need that?
But that's what I'm
is the
saying.
question.
But that's what I'm saying is that like we're not like they're slowly inching toward that in Dumundi. So maybe in
But why do you need?
you
that,
don't need.
though?
No, I'm not saying that you need that because that's what I have seen the like uncut scenes for Cutie Pie.
Yeah.
And that basically they just added in thrusting.
Right.
Like that's what it was. The series that they released versus the like uncut box set.
Yeah. I've watched it too because Robbie has it, and I watched it at Robbie's house.
Yeah.
And like, they also added noises. So that was my thing
Noises.
about like, I was like, yeah, I wonder how they're gonna do the Naughty Babe
That-
box set. And I was like, maybe they'll just take away this like artsy music and you'll just get noises.
That is the other thing Dumundi does is they put like a heavy song on it and you get no noises.
Yeah. Which is sometimes preferable because some of these with the like is a bit much for me
Yeah.
personally.
The love in the ear noises were a lot.
The love in the air noises are intense.
Especially with like Fort Pete.
Yeah, the love in the air noises are, yeah.
Lord have mercy.
But I would say, yeah, Dumundi and NC scenes are very distinct. Like, they're kind of all shot the same. Like, I look at it and I know it's a Dumundi production.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Oh, Naughty Babe.
This was a good show. I would rewatch it. I don't know that I would put it on a list as a starter BL for anyone because this has become a new thing, right? First it was will you rewatch it?
Yeah.
And then we started doing like would
Yeah.
you put this on your starter list to get someone into BL? For this one I would say no to starter list, but yes to a rewatch.
Yeah, because this is like an over the top. Like if you're not into BL world, you'd be like, what?
Yeah, this would be a lot to take in.
Yeah. This would be like putting like Love Syndrome on a starter list. Like it's
I wouldn't know because I haven't.
I mean, like I didn't watch the series, but like I think I know like the idea of
Right.
like you really have to understand BL world to
or
watch.
or it maybe okay, and a one that's closer that I can have context for is Yuntan Marshmallow Tiger.
Unforgettable Night.
Unforgettable Night.
Unforgotten Night.
Unforgotten Night.
Unforgotten
There we
Night.
go.
There's
Yeah.
some unforgettable nights.
Yeah.
Have you watched that series?
Yeah.
The whole thing?
Yeah.
I've started it so many times that I've not finished it yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh.
Wait, what's the marshmallow?
The tiger's name is like Marshmallow or something like that.
Oh,
It's,
right.
Like, it has a very specific name. In my brain, it's marshmallow. I know that's not right, but like that's.
Oh my God, we came full circle with the tiger.
Yeah, and now we're bringing it back to tigers.
On that note.
And on that note.
We have merch.
Support Sia.
Yes, that too.
Yes, that too. Also another thing I wanted to throw in about Yim, because we were talking about Yim earlier. I forgot about this, so then we got off on a different tangent. Before we go.
Okay.
I really think that if you haven't looked up Yim's dance past, you should.
Yes.
And then just look for the really tall boy in his dance troupe.
Shout out Atlas.
And look up his name, which is Erwin. And then look up Atlas. And then listen to Atlas.
Yes. I love that.
Thank you.
If you're in Houston, October 29th.
Yes, next weekend.
Come hang out with us.
1 p.m. is sold out. You can get on the waiting list, and you can hang out on the patio. There will be patio seating if you're on the wait list for 1 p.m. and you don't get inside. There will also be, there's, restaurants in the area and stuff like that. And, of course, you can hang out with all of us being the two of us, and Jovi and Eileen and Robbie. It's going to be so much fun. And all of the other people that are coming, it's going to be really amazing. It's going to be such a fun friend hang. There are still 3 p.m. spots available, although they are starting to fill up. So if you would like to come, please go ahead and RSVP now. This has to do with capacity in the restaurant. We can't really do a whole lot about it. If you're coming at 1 p.m. and you want to stay through to 3 p.m., you still have to RSVP so that we can make sure we have a seat for you.
Yes. It's going to be so fun.
Yes.
We have so many surprises.
Giveaways, freebies.
Some performances.
Costume contest. The debut of our band, Silly Birds. It's going to be a good time.
I'm so excited. Come see us. And on that note, this has been Let's Talk BL. Don't forget to subscribe, and follow all things Let's Talk BL at Let's Talk BL.